a chibi BMP-1, a chibi BMP-2, a regular old BMP-1. Decent command tank. This may as well just be a frontline tank. These guys are so cool, they command with a K. Yeah. Cheap CV, slightly armoured CV. I've never actually seen one of these ever be used. Step run. Sees the means of production. The least supply truck there is. Yeah, it's a big helicopter. It's a flying FOB that can't even fit on the screen properly. It's a truck. It's a slightly bigger truck. Mediocre. If you could get these guys in ground transports, I would use them a lot more. Because Russia needs a marine force too. Within 15 years, they just upgraded the AP power of the RPG slightly. Your regular line infantry, crap against infantry, good against tanks. Let's be real, we only use these guys to bring up BMP-3s. This was probably made in a factory. It's the middle child of Russian ATGM infantry. The only ATGM infantry you need for Russia. Another middle child. Going from 4 to 5 HE power makes a big difference. But I wouldn't bother with 3 HE, just don't. Do you want flamethrower infantry that constantly spew fire? Or flamethrower infantry that throw fiery rockets? Hey, let's attack his other Spetsnaz. I guess I don't really need this forest. The title for these guys look like a face is yawning. I heard they have cool music videos. Yeah. Fortunately, they don't miss a lot. That's a big gun. It's a big gun that can shoot 2 shots per salvo. Double the power. Cold. Warmer. Hot, hot, hot. It looks pretty dumb, but it does get the job done. The original Soviet long-range anti-plane AA. Same as before, just slightly better range and accuracy. The Cold War Katusha. This thing can dish out a lot of damage. How to ruin the start of a match with only 140 points. A wargame how-to guide. It's crap. Still pretty crap. There's much better mortar options you can get for rental. It has worse libido in a high school teenager. Even though it doesn't look like a mortar, it is a mortar. But also, if you really want, you could use it as a really crappy tank. Bertino. It's a something you see an insurgent use, not the goddamn Russian army. Instead of making one gun that shoots really fast, let's just have 4 guns that shoot relatively fast. There's nothing more cool than just seeing hundreds of tracers go into the air. The cheapest Tunguska. This is the best AA unit in game, and anyone who wants to challenge that can fight me IRL. Jesus Christ, just a lot of tanks. World War II favorites, right? Cavalry tanks are not in style. It's not 1955 anymore. Don't bother. The ATGM missile makes up for some things. Just get the 55-point run. This tanks have never been made. They keep on making versions for it. Just right. Nera has an ATGM. This one's not too bad. This is better than an ATGM carrier, not a tank. Some proper Red 4 tank. Solid. It's cool. Pretty cool. Let's get the high-end T-72s at this point. Speaking of T-72, it's a good mid-range run. Good for killing K1s and M1 AP Abrams. The ATGM adds quite a bit of bite. Now I want to get into some of the heavy hitters. This one's good heavy tank. It's essentially a T-90. Very bloody good. Probably one of the best Soviet mid-range tanks. Meh. Some better T-80s. It's okay. The original super heavy tank. Whether you want the T-72BU or T-80UM, it's really just down to playstyle choices. Both of them are rather acceptable tanks to pick. Why is this 50 points? Hey, you're not playing a third-rate nation, buddy. You got some pretty cool recon helicopters up ahead. Still don't really bother. Great for finding and eliminating the infantry inside a forest. A great helicopter for an opener. Don't bother. Still don't bother. Yeah, the Russians don't really have any powerful recon tanks. They're okay, but don't really expect anything amazing. The go-to recon infantry. They use a gun that has an effective range of 300 meters and somehow it can kill people from a kilometer in game. That's communism for you. Everything's equal. No. Why is this 50 points? I understand it has worse optics, but it's 15 points cheaper and it actually has some sort of defense mechanism. I don't even know what to say at this point. But the BRDM-3 has pretty much saved the vehicle reconnaissance for Russia. Remember they used to be 10 points and spammable? I do. It's a chibi BMP-1. Still a chibi BMP-1 with a slightly better ATGM. Chibi BMP-2. You see where I'm going at this point. Proper BMP-1. BMP-1 with a good ATGM. These guys just kind of fell off the radar. They used to be all over the bloody place. It's solid. Still solid. The Russians really know how to make good infantry fighting vehicles. I bloody love these guys, so they do have some unnecessary baggage. It's a pretty crap rack. No, still no. Back in the day, all you needed was 2 high-powered machine guns to shoot down a plane. But Rene brought more planes to make sure to bring 4. I wouldn't pay 15 points for this. I wouldn't pay 15 points for this. The middle ground of a Norov and an Afghansky. I wouldn't pay 15 points for this. But I would pay 20 points for this. And yeah, I guess I'd pay 30 points for these guys too. Jesus, how do they fit guys in this? It's as flat as a pancake. Domo arigato, Mr. Roberto. Not the best, but they're pretty damn useful. Grenade launcher. 13 frontal armor. I don't have to say anything else. Unfortunately, ground-based ATGM vehicles are not good. For when you really don't want to spend much money. It's an assault gun. An interesting mid-range tank destroyer. Flammen tank. Another Flammen tank. Okay. Why you'd buy this? I don't know. If you just spend 5 more points, you can get something that's decent. A transport truck. Fantastic ground support. I'll be back. A beluga rail. Only the Russians would have the audacity of creating a one-man attack helicopter. Okay, in all seriousness, the cockpit of this thing reminds me of a T-Rex skull. Just use Stinger missiles to blow it up. Russians really like their Hinds. They got Ps, VPs. Hey, Apache looks pretty cool. I wonder if we can do something similar. And Vs. With all the previous attack helicopters in mind, why the hell would you buy this? Seriously. Decent transport heli. It's okay. I actually like using this one quite a lot. Those rockets will mess up anything that get in their way. This is probably the most communist looking plane I could find. It's a rocket plane, cheap cluster bomber. It's good for close range dogfighting and that's it. Same as before. A very good but very expensive seed plane. It's a very fast cluster bomber. In pairs of 2s, these are actually really good interceptors. No longer the king of cheap anti-tank planes. This one's slightly better. Not too bad because it has fire and forget missiles. It has a good chance of surviving, and so does this one. It cannot beat Tom Cruise. Because you only get 1 per card, just pointless. It's usually a smarter idea to get 2 of these guys and run MiG-25 seed plane. Yeah, Dimitri, you encounter some enemy resistance over the air, just blow up your entire town. It's no A-10. Now, new players may see, oh wow, 16 ATGM missiles on 1 plane. This must be a great idea. It's not. The de facto ATGM plane if you want to play good as Russia. A solid interceptor. A slightly solider interceptor of a cool paint scheme. A decent mid-range interceptor. It drops some nades. It drops some bombs.